Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to do this idle air valve stuff. If you read in the directions that Lloyd gives you, they're pretty good, but they're really confusing on what you have to do. So I'm going to kind of make this a little bit simpler for you. This is the vacuum tubes that we took off of the idle air control motor. Now if you read in the directions, you'll see IAC and IAV. The IAC is the idle air control. That's the part that goes on here. That's the factory part. The IAV is the idle air valve. That's this part from Lloyd's. This comes with the kit. So what we have to do is we have to kind of put this in line here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's real simple. You need a razor knife, and what you're going to do is these vacuum tubes are all held together with that little strip in between. You have to cut them apart. So just take your razor blade and cut that apart. Kind of remember which side they go on too, because you do have to reuse them. So you're going to cut that apart. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is up here on this plastic piece up here, we're going to cut about a 1/2 inch of that off. Okay. So just cut about a 1/2 inch of that off. What we're going to do up there is we're going to put this air filter. It comes with the kit and a hose clamp. So just slide that over that. Slide it down just a little bit, make sure it's on there, and then just tighten up your clamp. You don't want to go too much with that clamp because you'll crush it. Just get it so it kind of helps hold that. Make sure you pull it. If you pull it and it's coming off, you didn't put the clamp down far enough. So make sure you get that, in a good spot, that when you tighten it up it won't come off. Pull on it now and it won't come off. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to keep this in this position just like that with this standing up. This last piece of rubber on here, you're going to cut that off. Sometimes it'll pull off, sometimes you have to cut it. This one will pull, just kind of twist it, it comes right off. So you don't want that. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take our heat shrink tubing and just put that on there, slide that up there out of the way. Take your idle valve. Now you want to put it on just like this, so the valve, the adjuster part, is down. And all that does is, I don't know if you can kind of see down in here, but in here this is just a screw that goes up in there and it blocks the passageway of air off. So if you screw it in, it restricts it. If you screw it out, it makes it more free-flowing. So that's all this valve really does. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take this and put it right in here. You're going to make sure this screw is down when you're holding it like this. That screw needs to be down. You're going to take your heat shrink, just going to put it right over like that. If you ever use heat shrink, you use a heat gun, a cigarette lighter will work. You have to be careful with the flame. But use a heat gun, a hair dryer, anything you got, it'll heat this up. And you'll just see it like it's called, heat shrink. It shrinks around there once you put heat to it. You don't want to go overboard because you can melt it. Okay, so that's all there is to putting this together. Again, we're going to use these vacuums, we're going to put them back on. So kind of remember how they were. Easy, the one with the T was in the back of the motor, towards the rear tire. It was the back. So that's all there is to converting this over. Now what we do with this, I'll show you. This is your idle air control motor. This is that cheese wedge bracket that we took off. What's going to happen is when we put everything together, this has some little O-rings on here. Now you might want to put a little bit of oil, a little bit of spit, whatever, just to get it to go in there. But it's going to just go in there, and you're not going to see this when I have it on the bike. You won't be able to see this. That just pushes in there just like that. That's all you're going to do. And then when you need to adjust it, you just kind of reach up underneath and you turn the screw. But that's all there is. And then these vacuum hoses will just be, we'll put them back on. They would go on there just like this, the way everything came apart. And then this just kind of tucks up between the cylinders. You have the cylinders of the motor like this. that just kind of tucks up between there. So that's what those instructions are telling you to do in the paper. Real easy. If you read that, it's pretty confusing, but I just showed you how easy that is. So that's the one next step you're going to need to do.